All right, thank you so much. Nicole, so nice to meet you. I'm such a huge fan of your work in general, but
Thank
I'm a
you.
huge fan of Lisa as well because she's
Wow.
a powerhouse. So we see much more of her this season, and she's such an inspiration. She is an outstanding professional, a present mother. She has a great relationship with her husband. I kind of want to be like her when I grow up, when I see it. And there is an amazing vibe about her because we do see her with her friends. We see all these things that she has to go through. So I have to ask you, how is it like to portray such a character that's so strong and so interesting like that?
Well, I'm just happy to be part of this iconic show. 25 years, and it's still in the hearts of so many all over the world. And the fact that they added this new character, I was just saying earlier about how I enjoy that Michael Patrick King wanted to give her parents, her and her husband, played by Chris Jackson, parents. So there's a generational um, like detail that shows where these characters come from. They're not made up. They're also someone's child. They're also someone who was loved and became these dynamic grown-ups. And here we are. So it's not flat, for an actor, there's a lot to sink my teeth into. And I get a chance to be, funny or be comedic. So yeah, that's my favorite part, is just reading the scripts and
And
knowing.
I, I
um,
since you brought it up, I was going to ask you about the in-laws. You have to deal with your in-law, your husband's mother, and then he has to deal also with your father. And the dynamic is so interesting. That must be super fun to approach as a group of actors as well.
and they cast Billy D. Williams as my dad, and I grew up watching him, and it took my breath away. I had to, like, on the first day of shooting with him, it was very overwhelming for me to be standing in front of him, and he's still so handsome and so suave. And I immediately called my parents and be like, "You're not gonna believe, and you can't tell anybody."
Oh, there must have been a phone call.
Yeah. Oh, they were so happy.
Now, one thing that And Just Like That has been doing amazingly well is the representation part, that we are seeing all this diverse group of characters, whether it comes to race, gender identity, sexuality, and all these other things, in a way that the narrative is not just about that. It's still a group of women who are dealing with everything that they have to deal with, and they're good friends and so on. And especially with your character, there are two scenes that I find amazing. That it's when she's getting ready for the MoMA event, and also when she's talking about what happens with the taxis. I wanted to know, how was it for you to approach the situations? Because it is so much part of the narrative, and we do see this very powerful woman having to deal with challenges that, at the end it comes out great, but we learn so much just watching that.
Right. And I think that's the delicate balance with the show. Number one, the new characters. Now, I think now the city looks like New York City.
Yeah.
In a typical day, this could be your friend group if you're Charlotte, um, and or SJ or Miranda, or Carrie. And so I just think that you hit it on the head when you said that they're still all going through the same thing: heartbreak, career transitions, finding your voice, being authentic, trying to be a grown up, and you still have to learn how to manage your emotions and your heart. And so I just think that topically it looks like everybody's so different, but really the point is saying that we're all the same in a way. Even though we're all different, we're all the same.
Yeah. And I do find that that is really what shows, because as you mentioned, it is about the heart, it is about the relationships and the support system.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'm sorry, I love that you bring up the taxi cab, because I mean, if I have a friend like Charlotte, right? I mean, I have an apartment on the Upper West Side, but if my husband and I were downtown, let's say, or even on the Upper East Side having dinner, and then we're going to meet our friends, there's a possibility that the cab doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And to put that in the episode with these people in this wonderful world, this is a detail that's just a part of their Tuesday. It's a part of their life with their daughter standing right there and then making her best friend at this private school. You get so much information without hitting you over the head. But for people like that, we know that's a possible 10 minutes in our day on our way to a huge benefit or banquet
Mm-hmm.
or dinner meeting, that we're the ones at the table that just had a little glitch of racism and emotional damage in a way, and that it affected everyone, the child, the father, and his mother. And they did it so well because we all cope. We have to still get up in the morning and make breakfast and get the kids to school.
And what I liked about that scene specifically is that after you're having to try to explain to the kids in a way that you still have to protect them of what's going on and how to manage that, it was beautifully constructed as a segment, really.
Mm-hmm. And it still had the mother-in-law be a mother-in-law talking about my headscarf.
Yeah. Now, speaking about headscarves, fashion is such a big part of the show. We cannot ignore, and I think your character specifically uses that in such a beautiful way to tell her story, to speak about her, represent her, and you have so many outstanding outfits. So I have to ask you, what were the most fun thing to wear? And if there was anything that was difficult that you were like, this might be too much for me, or this might not be enough for the character.
Well, having me in that much underwear was hard. I was like, oh my God. But I'm wearing things, Miriam, that you don't even see because of my coat is covering, my David Webb bracelet. Everything's magical, even if you don't see it. Like when I go for a fitting and let's say it's for pajamas, right? Molly Rogers still has me in Christian Dior bra and panties. It's very thorough.
It is amazing.
Yes. So I liked all my details, even if they'd never made it to camera. It keeps me in the character, on long shoot days. It's everything, even the contents of my purse, my phone case, my lipstick, everything is beautiful.
And what was, she's such a powerhouse, as I mentioned. Was there anything that you have learned from her that you are trying to bring to your life? Because when I look at your character, I'm like, no, she is the type of woman I want to be when I grow up. And so I wonder how, at playing her, and you have to know so much more about her.
I want to be like her when I grow up. I don't know what I've been wearing. My poor kids, like the things that I've picked my kids up in, sweatpants and weird flip-flops. Like Lisa would never. She would never. I mean, when she goes out to pick up a coffee or get, she probably has her groceries delivered, but she just is always together.
She is. And as far as her emotional strength, is there anything that you specifically like, okay, no, this is something that I really want her to have?
Well, I think because I'm playing her emotional strength is something that I bring to the character. Our home life is similar in the sense of, I have 2 kids, I have a great husband, but and we're humorous with each other. We fight, we make up. So I just, again, I don't know if it's that different from me in that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But I just enjoy playing her.
Wonderful. Well, we enjoy seeing it. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to meet you, and congratulations again on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.